This is Abir, and today we are going to discuss about how to get a good software engineering job for those who are having a low CGPA and are not from prestigious institutions. So let's get started. So before knowing all the reasons why and how to get it, let's focus on the basics that why a company hires software engineers. There are three kind of reasons, or you can say I have narrowed down them to three categories. First one is to get the business product set up. Usually, early age startups having around $2 to $3 million as seed funding and are usually having 3 to 20 people in the team. These are very early age startups and they don't even have a customer base, or they're just starting out in the market to see whether the things are working or not. So these are the places. These are the places who wants to hire software engineers who can implement quickly and iterate effectively. That means you writing code, pushed it, and you're then again working on the same code to improve it. So they need those kind of software engineers. Another one is to fulfill the increased requirement of engineering bandwidth in the team. That means you have earlier startup and now it's well funded, having good sound number of customers, and every customer is demanding some sort of feature, and you took out some common demands and you try to build out those, but the existing engineering team is kind of completely consumed up. Okay, they are building the shipping the main core features of the product, how to them sometimes they are managing payment gateways and all this stuff. Okay, so here is the demand rising, like, okay, we need more engineers to work on the new features that are being requested by the customers. So there's the demand or the increased requirement of engineering bandwidth. So there they hire very actively these kind of startups. It can be Postman or it can be Airbnb. I'm not sure about Airbnb, but yeah, for Postman, I'm pretty much sure. Then there are a lot of other startups that you can search on Angel List or those who are having well fundings. So I consider greater than 15 million US dollars as a good funded startup, or having around 150 to 200 employees. Not much, not more than that. That's actually a good, well funded and profitable startup if they have customers as well. Because right now in the current market, having customers is the main criteria to for a survival in this during this recession period. So this is about point number second. The third point, as we all know about the big fours, Fang, they are usually focusing on expanding their team, launch more tools, addressing wider problems in the society, drive more revenue and reach. The problem you are going to be dealing there with the software engineering problem. It can be internal company specific based on your role. It can be real life challenging thing like Google Pay. Then we have Amazon Cart and all these things. You know, you have two different kind of engineering here going on in these kind of organizations. One is to organize the internal structure. Another one is to organize the like improve the product, building out new features in the product. So based on that, you're going to see here they have different kind of openings like application developer, and they are really looking for someone who are experienced. So either they don't take chance completely, or they take chance by conducting hiring hackathons, or they hire from placements or like on campus placements. Very few are hiring getting hired off campus in these companies. So I'm talking about the early careers. But if you have some experience and you have a good network, try to pitch them. You'll be surely getting in there. So that's a different story. Here we are talking about those student developers who are having low CGPA and they are not from prestigious institutions, but they have the aspirations or the desire, or they have the potential, in short, to be a good software engineer. So a quick summary. Company hires software engineers first thing to get the business product set up. Those are early stage startups. Second one, the fulfill the increased requirement. Those are well funded startups. The third one, to expand the team, drive more revenue and reach. There's a third kind of product based companies like Amazon, Google. Now, how to get an experience? Because getting an experience is the most valued thing in the industry. So assumption, as you all know, not from prestigious institutions and low CGPA. How to get the experience? So first of all, you have to do the homework. You cannot get experience directly by just applying to jobs. Okay, so you have to first develop the skill level such that you create and ship a product within 3 to 4 weeks. And what kind of product? It can be small problem solving product. It can be like a Chrome extension. It can be a simple web app which is solving some crucial problem with APIs. Or maybe you can make an API monitoring system or anything like that. Just try to create and ship it within at max 5 weeks, 6 weeks, not nothing, not more than that. And create release cycles, know the usage of Git. So the more early you develop this kind of skill to ship an end-to-end product, or you say project, the early you get and get started with building an experience, a professional experience. So that's the main criteria first. Just tune up your skill level, whatever it is, front end, back end, DevOps, whatever it is. You need at least something, some parts of all the stuff to build and ship a product. Okay. Then iterate over it. Okay. Don't just keep building on your products and products and not doing nothing about it. So build one small, start building with one. You build it, launch it in the market and on your Twitter handle or everywhere you posted about it. Okay, use this. What are the problem it's solving? Try to do that. Okay. So once you do that, you have your own personal branding done. Plus, you have that people know you, right? Your GitHub handle, people know about that. Okay, this person's GitHub handle and it's the product that he has launched. Okay. So these are the few things that helps you to create some impressions in the digital world. So now there are two situations will be happening with you. If you do it really well, okay, the first step, that's developing the skill and marketing out your whole idea product. You're going to get two options. Either you are going to get the second, that is targeting PES offering companies. That is like a recruiter will be reaching you out and saying, okay, I liked your product and want to hire you in our company. And that particular company is a well funded startup. Okay, I mean the second type. So this, if this happens, go for it. You are going to get a good employee tag over there, a salaried employee, and you are going to like rock on the interviews. So these are the companies which offer like professional employment service. So try to go with this. Okay, but what if you don't get anything? That's the worst case. So we are touching the worst case here. Go to angel list, figure out early stage companies. That is the first type of companies. Okay, you always remember your target should be to initially get into this. But if you are not getting this, even after doing the first step, your target should be this. Okay, set up targets accordingly. So once you have first, like you go to angel list, try to search on with the early age startups and having seed funding and they're hiring, then focus on what to do next. Give the interviews, apply to them, show your product to them. Okay, for your target should be getting the independent contractor job. It's because these companies are highly volatile. Getting into as an employee and managing the taxes and stuff, it's not worth it. Try to go for an independent contractor. So what does independent contractor means? That you'll be completely independent. You're not an employee. You'll be just a temporary worker solving problems for them and shipping features. And duration should be more like ideally should be 6 to 8 months. And how to choose a company, this such type of company. Okay, so the thing is, you should target international US and EU companies because they pay you a good amount, and read the clauses properly in the agreement because that's most important. Whenever you're leaving the company, usually the clause should be having 7 days week notice. So that for independent contractor, it should be 7 days, nothing more than that, or at max 10 days or 15 days. That's it. And CEO should know what he or she is doing. If CEO is like living in a fictitious world, then it's a big red flag. The company won't survive in the coming months. Always believe in data, not in talks. So you should have the metrics like how much company has customers, how much it's driving, how much is having the profit, or it's just getting started, or what's the exactly early stage. In early stage also you have different stages. So if they have any customers, so get all this data and decide accordingly. The most important factor is it seed funded and when it was seed funded. This will be the driving factor because this will decide your the payments. Okay, so and we require here what you will get to know here is you'll because see here you have earlier you know that you have shipped the product in 3 to 4 weeks. Similar thing you'll be doing here, just in a startup environment, and you'll be under a particular guidance, right? Not exactly guidance, I would say, but you'll be under a startup and doing the work, right? Professional experience you'll be getting. Okay. So you will know that how business impacts are to be done, which points to be made, or which points not to be like which developer points to focus on. I will say so these are the things that you'll get to know while working in these early stage startups. And what you have to add in resume is what you have done as an improvement in the product and how it impacted the business. Maybe you can write it, invited more customers and it improved the page loading time for customers and how it impacted on the business. And engineering specific detail, you can say because earlier startups they don't have release cycles, and also you can write about it, created release cycle pipelines and stuff. So these you can add in the resume under the company. And what you should expect from them. First of all, decide on the payments. US folks, you folks, they pay a good amount, and good amount means for a software engineer, as like if you are in your second year, third year, getting this much amount from 1.3 lakhs per month to 2.5 lakhs in this range is good as an independent contractor. And that's it. That you should think sensibly, but don't be too much greedy. Okay, don't say I want 2.5 or 3 lakhs per month. That's not going to happen because you have to remember these are just early stage startups, so you have to be kind of sensible also, and also don't get underpaid. This is what I mean. So my recommendation for above skilled candidate will be 1.5, 1.3 to 1.5 is good amount. Letter of recommendation is required, so get this as soon as possible. If you have done any contracting job, or if you try to like when you come out of that contracting job, connect with the CEO and get the letter of recommendation. Experience, I'm not sure if they will give because it's a contracting job, but letter of recommendation everyone gives, so you can try getting that because this also matters. Somehow in the industry, it will help you out. So get this one, letter of recommendation from with a company header, letterhead, and all those things. So just get that. Okay. Remember, this is a temporary job, high risk, high reward. If you find the business can get a good amount of customers in next 6 months, so stick to it at your own risk. I won't say that just stick to it, but it depends. Good amount of customers, and are they able to retain the existing customers? These are the quite a amount of like these are the important factors that you have to know before deciding to stick to a particular startup at early stage. So by spending 6 to 8 months, you get a particular idea that okay, how this will how, impact the business, or how they can get the customers, how is it attracting the customers. So you get that idea in 6 to 8 months. Based on that, you actually decide whether to stick or not. Because here you'll be still be what you say independent contractor. An independent contractor has to manage their own taxes. They are considered as self-employed in as per Indian labor laws, so that's not going to work out. Like for employees, there are much more benefits, health insurance, and all those things you get. There's security you get. So a lot of things come under employment in the PES, like professional employment service. So this is just for getting started within things. Okay, don't just go and search independent contractor and try to do the job. Don't do like that. It's just for if you are getting started and you are having low CGPA and don't are not getting any offers for any interview calls from the second type of companies, well-funded startups, then you should try to look at this. Now, when you have done this, probably you have now the experience. Now you should try connecting with the recruiters, the engineers, and the well-funded startups, because now you have something to showcase that you have built out something and people are using it and you have customers. So they know, okay, this is something promising that you're making to the LinkedIn connection or recruiter that has been asked that you are going to be connected with. Okay. So always for this second target, because there are companies coming and they are keep coming in the market. So make sure that you prepare a list of recently funded companies. Recently, I mean recently here, because recently funded companies will only hire the increased requirement for you. If you are having a company which has opened in like which has last fund in last 2 years, then they won't hire much. Okay, that's the point. You have to figure out all the recently funded companies. Go to Google, search about it, PR Newswire, and a lot of things you have to search. This is the matter of searching and researching about the things, and search for those who are having greater than 15 million funds in them, and around 100 employees are good to go, so that you get a good decent level of employment. And now you always remember, filter out remote only companies, because see what happens. I'm assuming that you are still in college, so remote only companies will help you to be bit flexible with the timings. So remote only companies are much more preferred. That's a norm. We only talk about remote only companies. So see which are actively hiring, connect with existing engineers, or sure about your past work experience while LinkedIn, Twitter. Be very point while drafting the messages, because see, if you are a good candidate, remember this: they are hiring. There is a demand, because they have to fulfill the increased requirement of engineering. Okay, the demand is there now. Even the existing employees have a benefit. If you are a good candidate and if you get hired, they will get the bonus for the referral that they have made for you. Okay, so that's keep in mind. So always put a message that is stick to your tech stack and what you work on, what showing your all the work experiences, and always attach a resume. Don't attach a resume after asking it. Okay, shall I attach my resume or something like? Directly attach it. Okay, there is no harm in directly attaching. People will see the resume and say, okay, fine, this person has done something and we can take a chance on it. That's how things will happen. And do not fear, these companies, they always hire you to make you work on existing code. So you'll not be developing things from scratch, but you'll be working on already developed things, improving the already developed things, and it will take you time to understand the existing code base. So here you will be learning the new skill of understanding the existing code base and work forward toward it. That's how this whole idea is. Keep applying. If you're not able to clear any interviews, even after getting them called, okay, so keep on applying. Don't dishearten till you knock the door down. Keep on applying. That's the logic. And most important is, do not leave the previous first target company till you get the offer letter, because see, letter of recommendation also has number of months you have worked there. Okay, so if you leave and then target for these companies, that's not working out. So till you get the offer letter, there will be something. So suppose you took 3 months to get an offer letter from a company. Okay, now it took 3 months. Now you have those 3 months, you can still work on that first target, first independent contracting offering company, right? So you have those extra 3 months. So 8, 9, 10, 11. That means 11 months of experience you can directly show up to the next employer, right? So this is why it's important to know, or like to read the clause that 10 days beforehand. Okay, it max until 10 days beforehand that they will be leaving. So read the clauses really important. This is really important. Reading the clauses for the first target independent contract offering company. Always target US or EU companies. Okay. So now you have a job, you are doing proper employment, and it will take 6 to 7 months to understand the existing code. If it's very like if it's a company having a lot of employees, a lot of engineers, and they are coding since long, building features out. So you'll take time to understand it. So let's accept that. But now, after understanding, you have to build a niche. Okay, how niche is built? See, with our experience, you will get to know the following: the problem industry faces, the technical challenges that every organization faces in a business. It can be release pipeline, it can be hiring, can be anything. But what are the solutions that you can provide to address such problems? That should be your goal. As a software engineer, what are the software solutions that you can provide to address it? So think as a software engineer, not as a job hopper. Okay, I completely disagree on like switching jobs every 6 months or every year. So that's not should be. You should always look for your growth only here. If you're getting a good growth, okay, switch it. Otherwise, stay happy at your place wherever you are doing. Okay, so you should develop a niche with time. That's the most important goal for a software engineer. Okay, don't just be a job hopper. Focus on developing your niche. Industry problems. These are the industry problems. The green circle. and these are your experiences. There will be obviously some region, because as you have worked previously as an independent contractor and currently as a in a well-funded startup, then you'll obviously have this particular intersection, the niche that you will be developing it. Okay, these are the industry problems and here are my experiences, so let's develop some solution. And when you are going to develop that, you're going to build a niche of your own technical skills, that okay, I'm highly skilled in this particular stack. Okay, that's how the things will work. This is kind of, you have to think a lot about this, because in one video it's not even possible to impact you completely from end to end. I can impact you maybe 40%, 50%, 60%. I I feel that I can impact you just 40%, not even more than that. It's you who have to do the rest of the 60%. Okay, so focus on that. Try to develop a niche as soon as possible. Don't just like, okay, this is what I have to do. So let's. So there's a process. Like you have to first get the experience, how things work, and don't be overconfident in building a niche. Okay, so I know backend, so I'll build niche on backend. So, but the niche are built on what are the problems you address. Okay, if you're addressing ad related problems, suppose you got a job at Google Ads team, that's super complicated job. So you get to know. So you develop a niche over the ads technology, how ads work, and all these things. So you have to develop a niche and challenge yourself to build next generation things as a software engineer, because that's what our job is, to build things that will change the world, right? So too much motivational talk. So building a niche is really important, is what I mean. Next is bonus way. Let me close all these collapses. And bonus way is finding out an early open source projects by profit making well funded companies. So companies like Postman, then we have Atlassian. These companies, they are obviously they contribute to open source projects, and some of them have open source projects. They have created recently few open source projects, and they hire via those open source. It's a very rare condition when this happens. Okay, it's a very rare situation, I will say, when you're getting hired by open source. And actually this is a good thing, because here you don't have to face the interviews, technical interviews, just have to face one round of interview, that is HR and salary discussion. So either you'll pick out. So when you have this experience of independent contractor writing code, you'll get to know a lot of open source projects. Okay, uh, a lot of open source projects means the famous ones like Webpack, ESLint. Try to contribute to these projects. Okay, and once you start contributing it, you get known in technical industry, like in the open source industry or the open source community, I will say. Open source community, people try to help you out with jobs. Okay, they know that okay, my company is hiring, you can actually hire this particular maintainer, this contributor, you'll get hired. Okay, there will be very the advantage is they want to hire you. The advantage is that they don't want to hire out of 10 only one. They want to just hire you, so you have that advantage. And here you can also take this advantage to discuss your negotiation of salaries. So from India, if you're getting hired, focus on this as a junior, or like I won't say junior. So, but the thing is, you have worked on the stuff. It's you have impacted the business even before joining the company. Then you should actually aim for 26 LP as base salary, because these are really well funded startups. That's the point. These are really well funded startups like Postman, and then rest should be stocks. So your net CTC will be around 50 to 60 lakhs per annum. Okay, per annum I am doubtful about per annum, because sometimes stocks vesting period should be of 4 years. So that is another thing that you need to keep in, but it will be around that 50 to 60 LPA. Okay, so that's what the whole discussion is. So this one is the kind of very rare situation. When you get this, you have to spend years and years into open source, and then you get this opportunity. So recently, my one of my friend, he has been into async API and got an opportunity to get hired at Postman. And from this, I got to know about the whole idea how things work in the industry. So yes, these are the things you need to understand, and that's all. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video and got some awareness, feel free to share to your friends and those who really need it, because sharing will help them to upskill and even you will get upskilled by that. Okay. So yes, thanks for that, and subscribe if you really liked it. Thank you.